Something else I found interesting, which I want to share with you quickly and somewhat quietly. My baby's just over yonder playing, making some noise. Sorry about that. I'm trying not to disturb her. She's trying to disturb me. That's how it goes. But yes, where was I? Alright, just so I'm not randomly dropping information into your lap without proper context, let me start with this here. So back around 2015, had to let the cat out of the room. Cat was scratching on the door. Anyways, back around 2015, Candace Owens and some of her friends, or shall I say colleagues, started up something called Degree 180. You can see their YouTube channel here. You can also see their Instagram account here. Yes, you can still access these. Their actual website, however, long since taken down. Now, when they were putting together this project, they were also putting together a website, which was supposedly intended to be an anti-cyberbullying website. They had some issues with it along the way, and it ultimately crashed out, in large part because of Candace Owens herself. But yes, to kickstart the whole thing, they set up a funding campaign on Kickstarter, raised $4,000, just over $4,000 out of their goal of $75,000. Epic fail, if you ask me. Funding was suspended just over a month later. You can scroll through their campaign page here. A bit of a story here written by Candace Owens herself to promote all of this, to ask for money, basically. This was not written well. It was not serious at all. She even joked at one point in here that they were going to be spending the money on shopping. She said, just kidding, but still. Not very appropriate. A lot of people did not take them very seriously. There are videos inserted in this page. I'm not going to play those right now because I'm just trying to get to something else. Just context for your information here. But like I said, it was not going well. The campaign was ultimately suspended as they received more and more pushback. You can see some of that pushback in the comment section. Somebody by the name of Brittany, who was one of Candace's colleagues, was answering a couple of questions. A couple of interesting things to read in here, but I'm also going to skip past that for now. You can see here 54 backers. The amounts are mentioned, but the names are not. So I don't know who participated in the funding of this, if that's even all that relevant. Either way, crash and burn. They lived. Did they learn? Not so much. So, just for a little bit more context, an open letter to Social Autopsy. This was an article of sorts written by Randy Lee Harper, someone whom Candace and I suppose Social Autopsy, Degree 180, that group was feuding with Randy and a couple of other women. This gets kind of complicated because it plays into Gamergate and a whole bunch of other online drama situations. And I'm just putting this on the screen to put yet another comment section on the screen because this was indeed a very critical piece, critical specifically of Candace Owens, talking about her personality, the problematic personality that it was, and the concerns for the supposed anti-cyberbullying website. There were concerns over doxing. Information about minors was going to be on there. Candace was doing her best to promote this. Well, I wouldn't say her best. If it was her best, that was a low bar. But yeah, if I scroll back up here and click the comment symbol here and scroll down, there's one comment which I found particularly interesting by someone with the account name The Butcherman. Don't know who this person actually is. It's just a random account on here. But let me jump over here to my X account because I have a screenshot of this. Text is larger than life. I actually have quite an extensive thread put together here going over a lot of information about all the above, literally. Scrolling up and then scrolling back down because I just want to focus on this one particular comment and also a short video of Candace Owens talking to Dennis Prager a number of years ago, 2019 or so. Yes, first, before I forget, my caption. I'm posting this screenshot again alone to emphasize that how this person was describing Candace Owens 10 years ago is exactly how Candace is acting now. And here's a quote from the screenshot. She will go on and dig in further, even when she is 100% in the wrong. I say, indeed, her conservative grifting days are over and she's letting her human nature out once again, though I'd argue she was never all that great at disguising it, since she's a naive airhead who always thinks she's right. That's another quote. So let me go ahead and read this comment from the aforementioned Butcherman. Not spelled like Butcherman, but just an account name. And this is from April 27 of 2016. All right, the comment reads, so, this girl, as in Candace, whom I know personally, is the biggest hypocrite in the world. She actually spent months tormenting, bullying, and harassing me. This ranting and raving and not accepting any criticism or help is typical behavior of hers. She will just go on and dig in further even when she is 100% in the wrong. She needs to be schooled hard. I am hoping that you and your friends knock some sense into her. She is truly the definition of a privileged, naive airhead who always thinks she's right. I am happy that a whole host of people are finally calling her out for it. Yikes. So like I said, this is when Candace and her people, as in the people of Degree 180 / Social Autopsy, were sort of feuding with these other women who were anti-bullying advocates, namely Randy, who wrote that open letter to her. But yeah, I'll also point out that after this open letter was written, Candace Owens decided to start trolling. So on this old X account, it was Twitter at the time, you can find screenshots and different articles of this account, which used to be up. Candace Owens herself was running it because she was the CEO of the website. She was tweeting out snide remarks, trolling remarks, and that was just the immature mentality that she had, while simultaneously asking for money to get this anti-cyberbullying website going, in which she was claiming that she was going to do some good in the world. Turns out she herself was a bit of a bully, and her endeavor, their endeavor, the anti-bullying endeavor that it supposedly was only going to lead to more bullying specific individuals. It could have led to doxing because it was meant to accumulate personal information about particular people based upon what they were saying online and how mean it might have subjectively seemed. So not a good look. None of this was. It flamed out fairly fast. Guess it wasn't meant to last. I'm going to dive into all of this deeper in some other shows, so like, subscribe, and enjoy the ride. These are some of the screenshots of tweets from the old Social Autopsy account. There are references specifically to Randy and the other women. As you can see here, Candace said, I got to go to work on the blog piece, but to Zoe, Randy, and their obvious trolls. Yeah, so a meme here. But basically, Candace Owens was calling these other women trolls, and then ultimately claiming that the trolls were the ones who got the Social Autopsy website shut down. I believe Candace Owens in some article somewhere also suggested that Jeff Bezos got the website shut down. Ridiculous, but hey, she has been known to say ridiculous things for a long time, and it doesn't look like that's stopping anytime soon. Okay, so I'm just going to add in a video at the end of this, a video of Candace Owens talking to Dennis Prager, describing something that she should have seen in herself at the time, and I definitely see it in her now. I think it's quite ironic or unironic. You decide. Anyways, back then she was describing herself now. And I would argue that even then, this is who she was, according to people like this person, the person on the screen, the comment I already read. You get it. And this obviously only proves so much, but I just think that if there were comments like this floating around about Erica Kirk, Candace Owens would definitely be all over them, and she would be smearing Erica Kirk based upon it. So keep that in mind. So here you go. Here's that video.
I believe that at a given point of saying something enough, they have actually begun to believe a lot of what they say that isn't true.
I have a different theory.
Okay.
So my theory is that they don't believe it. At a moment, they could have believed it. And that's usually a very emotional moment where you've committed to something, right? So let's take when Donald Trump won. And you've spent this whole time saying that if anybody votes for him, they're racist, they're sexist, they're misogynist, and then he wins the election. And I think what happens is that they've gone so far into crazy land that it takes too much humility to pull back. So they just lock themselves up, and they know, and then they say double down. But they know they're wrong. I believe they know they're wrong. Yeah. But you know how hard it is to go back and say to all your friends that you called racist, that you called sexist, that you called homophobic and Islamophobic.
I know.
Humility is a very hard ingredient.
So let me ask you this.
Note to self.